So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
Okay.
And I'm Eliza, and we are Eliza the Delusionals.
And we have some questions to say about their new album, Now and Then. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Thank you.
Yeah, really good. Thank you. It's nice to have it out. It's nice to see the response from people and people enjoying it, people hating it. It's all good.
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
The good and the bad. You gotta love it. The album's great. I saw you guys a couple of weeks now, almost a month now, with the Silver Sun Pickups in New Jersey, and I was actually standing in the pit like, all right, I'm gonna find their press contact and I'm gonna have them on the show. And I'm glad we're here right now. But you guys put on a great show.
That's so cool. Dead set.
It was so much fun.
We had heaps of fun.
Such a great tour.
I was gonna say we love touring in the US. It's so much fun. It's such a different, like, culturally just so different to like what it is here. So it's always like super refreshing to jump overseas and jump on a tour. Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, the whole thing with the album was just like a perspective, like on nostalgia, I guess. It's just sort of looking back, and we wrote it in a pretty like shit time of life. So it was like peak, it's definitely not a pandemic album because like fuck that, but not sure if we can swear, but
Yes,
so it's definitely not that, but it's more so like, because you would turn on the TV and it was just like the world was just like on fire. So we would just use that time to just like sort of go, okay, what's like comforting to us? And I guess like a lot of people like us find nostalgia pretty comforting. And we just sort of like were digging through old stuff, and like we just sort of thought we would base the whole concept of the album around growing up and like things that we did growing up, or mistakes we made, or like love we had or lost, or like what are things like that, like just general growing up and like nostalgia, I guess, on a whole sort of thing. So I guess that was the whole point of the album cover. It was like we literally made like a bedroom with like plywood in like my parents' garage, like, you know what I mean, like that was sort of, and then we like filled it with things that we had when we were younger, and like they were genuinely like our old like CDs or bears or
Tamagotchis,
computers,
things like that,
things like that. You know what I mean? So it's literally just filled with like nostalgic things.
Yeah.
For us, sort of thing. And yeah, I guess that was what the whole point of the album was. It was like an escape for us.
All right, makes sense. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah. So for like 99% of the album, it was just Kurt and I writing, and we would just sort of write every day and demo out everything because there was nothing else we could do really. So yeah, we kind of just did that and like really, like, I guess, poured ourselves into doing that. We did get to do a few sessions before like the pandemic, when we were in LA after the first Silver Sun Pickups tour we did. So we did a session with Sarah Aarons. She's like an Australian that lives in LA. She's a great songwriter. We did Give You Everything, and we wrote Save Me with Keith Harris. And yeah, it was like cool. That was sort of our first like writing sessions outside of the two of us just writing together. So I feel like that was something cool and different to have for our record. But yeah, the rest of it was just Kurt and I writing together. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sounds sick. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorites?
I would say All the Time took the longest to write.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, I think the oldest song is Halloween, for sure. That took the longest in terms of like actual time.
Yeah, it didn't change too much.
Didn't change too much, yeah. But I feel like that was like the longest from its like start to finish thing. But I guess in terms of songs, we nearly quit the band over. All the Time was probably it.
Yeah, I reckon that had like 6 different versions because we just couldn't settle on one that we both liked. But I feel like that was also kind of growing pains as co-songwriters together, and like going through that,
I guess. For sure.
That like before the record we had only sort of written on our own and just done it that way. So I think that song was definitely like the teething of writing together, but I'm glad that it actually made it onto the album because I love it. But my personal favorite is probably Halloween from the record.
Yeah, I actually didn't even want Halloween on the record because I had written it like by myself years, like probably 2 years before. And I was like, oh, you know when you like do something and you kind of just look at it and go, oh, that's shit, like, regardless of like the content. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of just one of those things that I guess everyone's just like conditioned to like think their own stuff is shit. If you know what I mean? But anyway, I feel like that one was like that, and then Eliza and stuff are like, no, it's really good, and I'm really glad I did listen and didn't go, no, fuck that. So yeah, because I actually really do love that song.
It's a great song.
Looking back on it and stuff, I can actually like happily listen to it and enjoy. So
I had a good feeling about it from the start, so I'm glad that you let it be free.
I'm glad you warmed up to the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why our camera is so bad. It looks like we're underwater or something. Like, I'm not sure what the fuck is going on.
I was like, we look like we're filming on a
Nokia E64 or some shit. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We normally don't say anything because like as long as everything's kind of synced up, it's fine.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, you guys look great.
You guys look great. I'm looking at your quality going, wow, it's the future. Yeah.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I feel like it was definitely when we wrote Now and Then, that was meant to be the album. We knew where that was going to be from the start because it just felt right. It was like a closing, like everything makes sense now, and we're just talking about the album pretty much and like themes. But it's like the rest of it was just like chop and change and see what felt right and stuff like that. And like we worked really closely on the track listing with our producer Constantine Kersing and stuff, and he really had a big hand in helping us put it together and make sense of it. And yeah, I feel like the only song that was like absolute was Now and Then.
That makes sense. All right.
Gotcha. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
So bad.
It was
pandemic.
Terrible.
Yeah,
it was just awful.
I think the album was kind of the only positive thing to come out of that time of life. It was, I mean, I'm sure everyone was feeling it. It was pretty rough. Like we had just gone through losing a lot of tours in the US in particular that we were really, really excited about. And like we were going to change the trajectory of our career.
Sure. So we were even like planning to like move there and stuff. And we're like all these things in life, like just like lifestyle changes and stuff. Like it was just huge shift in normality for us. It was just like from this to that. And it was like, oh wow. And it was really quick as well.
Yeah. So we didn't even get a chance to realize what was happening. Like when we got home, it was kind of just like we got told, oh yeah, you know, October, like the tours will go ahead in October, and then like 3 years later, we only just finished the tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sounds sad, but for us it was almost like grieving death. Really, like it sounds pretty harsh, but that's genuinely how we were experiencing it. And I think that's going back to the concept of the record, like that's why that sort of felt so comfortable for us. And it was kind of and mind you, when I say it was like, you know, our comfort zone, it still was like very hard. A lot of tears, a lot of nice times as well. And we're really proud of ourselves in the end. But
absolutely, we look back on that album and can be super proud of it. And I feel like from this where we stand and sit now is like we can look back on it and not feel yuck and not feel shit and not go, that is the worst thing ever. I hate this. So
we never want to be in that position again.
No, definitely.
I'm proud of us for pushing through and making something really special to us that a lot of our fans seem to really enjoy. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you guys like had that positive outlet, and like it's interesting that you say that like it kind of like you guys were grieving with like these tours being dropped as like death almost, and like, you know, but it makes sense because it's at the end of the day it's your livelihood, so like it makes sense to grieve with it that way, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
And obviously I mean that with no disrespect for people who actually did deal with grieving with death throughout the pandemic. But
it's all perspective. It's like, you know, we actually didn't have anyone like close that we knew had passed away. So sort of thing. It's like I feel like that's the sort of thing people get sort of upset if you say something about, you know, like that. I say, oh, but I actually had someone. It's like everything's perspective.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
for
we
sure.
say everything from our perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought I would
So-
just say that in case.
so no one would yell at us.
Fair enough. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. Both you have to do it.
Super sexy album.
That's
Damn,
good.
That was fast. Okay.
I would say it's very fun and maybe a bit sad and
That's more than 3 words.
well, okay.
Fun,
Just say super
sad.
sexy.
Fun, sad, and catchy. I think it's
Mine
catchy.
wasn't very real, was
No,
it?
yours was actually better than mine because you had confidence. And I didn't, so
Yeah, you just like said it. You were just like,
It was,
whatever
like,
came
off
to
the top of your
mind, you
head.
just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started thinking.
and it was true as well.
I read the questions, but not.
So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
I think the first one, like, you know, basing it around nostalgia, like I feel like a sense of comfort.
Yeah, I was gonna
To
say
me,
like joy or comfort.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, and not that we purposely were like, we want this song to sound like it's out of the 2000s. Like that's just the music we grew up on.
We did in like some aspects.
Yeah.
Like, we had to like there was aspects of
For
it
sure.
that we were
I
like,
just
oh,
meant
this is
like-
like a tip of the hat to
Yeah,
this
100%.
era or things like that.
It was
Like,
more just like that's what came out naturally when we were writing. Like that's, you know, the chords and things
through
like
those
that.
emotions, like through
Yeah.
nostalgia and stuff. It was like we're very well aware
Yes.
that some of them do sound like other, you know, eras and stuff like
Eras,
that.
yeah.
So
It was
of the
definitely
music,
our
so,
like
yeah.
our homage to that era because that's what we grew up on. That's our favorite
Yeah,
music, and
it's the
that's
whole
what brings
point of
us
it.
comfort. And I think that, like, you know, there's nothing quite like when, you know, a song comes on the radio, maybe from a band that had one really big song, but it was such a big part of your childhood, and you go, oh my God, like I love this song. I haven't heard in ages. So
Yeah.
I feel like I wanted our album to kind of have that, you know,
Emotion
energy
wrapped.
to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. What artists in particular do you guys like? Were you paying homage to? I know you said like the 2000s, but like get a little bit more specific there.
Oh, like in all seriousness, like 90s / like Y2K era, it was a lot of like film as well. Like it wasn't just music. Like I feel like and just things in itself. Like Eliza like mentioned Tamagotchis, like literally all the things in the room. And it didn't necessarily have to be a band or it didn't have to be an artist. It had to be like it could have been anything. Like do you know what I mean? So we were literally like old photos, like photo albums. Like remember, like you would have photo albums at your parents or whatever, and like you would flip through them and stuff, and like that sort of thing. So like I feel like it was just a plethora of different, you know, mediums that we were sort of digging our hands into and just sort of like pulling our favorite things out and stuff. And I feel like a lot of them were sort of in the room, like old Coldplay. Not that we sound anything like Coldplay, but like we both love Coldplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we had like heaps of like film and stuff from back then, and it's not even necessarily stuff that you would go, oh wow, that song has nothing to do with that, but it's like it evokes like a feeling or an emotion
I think
in
we
you
wanted to like
that makes that happen.
make like a soundtrack almost for like
Yeah.
your like, you know, early 20s, late teens, like, and then like even younger than that, and those first experiences and things like that. So, you know, we love movies. Like I feel like one that we always bring up is American Pie. Like that's got such a good soundtrack,
Yeah.
and
Like,
you know,
all of the Offspring and Sum 41 and stuff like
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
you could just put a movie on it.
but then we also we also loved, like, we love the Cranberries, we love No Doubt, Garbage, bands like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a very wide spread of all of that music is just so like influential.
yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
All right.
100%.
So what is your favorite memory that you guys made while creating this album?
Well, I've shut a lot of it out, to be quite fair.
That's
We had a really good time in the studio, to be
No,
fair.
we did have a great time.
Yeah, with Con. That was really fun. He was a great producer to work with on the record, and I feel like he brought out the best of the songs and the best out of us. And
that was like the turning point in terms of, I feel like, how we were feeling as people as well. Like that time of life was like we were just sort of coming back around and going, oh, okay, like we can also feel good again, I guess.
I think like I felt like as a band, especially with the other two guys, Ruby and Tex, because there was a period where we sort of couldn't even see each other because Australia had like border closures and stuff. We live in 2 different states. And I feel like we kind of felt if we could get through that, we could probably get through anything. thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was I feel like the album, like recording of the album with Con as well, and he was such a great person to do it with.
Yeah.
Because we are like good friends as well.
He's done
but it's like
most of our music he's been a part of. So
but he was a super like almost comforting person to do it with, because it was like we trust him heaps, like musically and as a person. So it's like we could sort of go in there with no in the process sort of thing. And I feel like that was something we hadn't had in a while, because like trust in the process was just like no one knew what was happening tomorrow. So, you know, it was kind of one of those things that it was a comforting thing we could get back to, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Did we cut out
Did
then?
we cut out?
Just like a little bit, but it kind of caught up.
Yeah, we caught
Okay,
everything. You
sweet.
just cut out for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
We have like pretty average connection here, so
we may as well be on a boat.
yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, we've plenty of Australian artists have been like, "Sorry, the internet here just sucks shit."
It
Yeah.
truly, really, really does.
Honestly.
Like it's so bad.
you guys are spoiled when you come over here for tour.
Yeah, for internet.
It's like I'm in Wichita and I got like 5G. What's this? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, snack of choice.
Ooh,
I do.
that's a good choice.
Yeah, I do love a pickle, but I also don't like.
I
some of
did
the pickles.
not expect you to say that.
Love pickles.
I just love it. Actually, Kurt was on the slushy game. Pretty
Actually,
sure.
I was pretty huge.
He actually got
Oh,
a few
slushy.
free slushies.
I did.
Over the trip. Like he'd be like, I just want to get this, and the guy would be like, "You
That's
just take
on the
that."
house, and I'd say.
Oh, that's very
Oh,
kind.
What else is good? Barbecue lays are pretty good,
Mm.
and
Bugles is good.
bugles are pretty
Ooh,
special.
bugles.
But
Yeah.
Bugles
I
are
had to refrain from buying those, otherwise I would eat like 50 million bags because they're so yum. We don't have those here, so
They don't count on tour.
What
You
about you
burn all the
guys?
calories.
Do you guys have like a favorite go-to? I genuinely want to know, because I want to know for next time we come back. things to
Yeah,
try.
when I go, I try to find Lay's dill pickle chips. Those are my go-to. If not, I'll go for the salt and vinegar ones. But I'm very partial to Lay's with the chip game.
Lay's are good. They are
Lay's
good.
And then, depending if I want to rot my teeth out or not, I'll go for a Sprite. Or if I don't, I'll go for a vitamin water. There's the
Ruby loves the
the
vitamin
like
water.
yellow orange one. That one's good. I don't know the flavor, but that one bangs.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh.
Ruby goes to the bottom
Ruby's
water.
on
What about yourself?
Oh, I usually just get like I get like a pickle. So when you said pickle, I was like, hell yeah! But
Yeah, that's
you
what's
flaked.
up.
But it's okay. It's okay. We're good.
No, I do. I'm a flaky person. No jokes.
and then just
no,
like
I
a
feel
massive
pickle.
bottle of water.
I love a pickle. I'm the only person in the band that enjoys pickles. Everyone else is like,
Really?
wait, my McDonald's burger is fucking stacked with
Yeah.
pickles.
I can
But
have
everyone's
one
like-
pickles on a burger, but like the pickles.
I get everyone's pickles because no one
Yeah.
likes pickles.
Like,
Everyone says this. Everyone's like, I kind of like one, but then it's like gets time to eat the pickle, and they're like, here, Kurt.
You just take it.
I
Yeah,
don't feel like the pickle.
yeah, but like you can't say you like pickles, and then every time you get the pickle.
I am
say
impressed
sometimes I
with
don't like.
pickles.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll die on this hill,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Kurt, I totally get it. I'm the sick fuck that goes to Burger King to get my Impossible Whopper, and I'm like, extra pickles, please. That's why I order on the
Extra,
app all the
extra.
time, because I don't
Yeah.
need the judgment from the person at the counter giving me
I'm
the
not
look.
about it.
Damn, how
Just,
many
I'm
pickles?
paying
you
for it.
want?
Give me
Oh,
the fucking pickles.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
That's a good question.
I'm actually going to think about this because I feel like we are a big food band. Like we do enjoy food.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's situational. Maybe it's like depending on what mood we're in or where we are in the world.
I
feel
mean,
like
when we're in California, like we eat so much Mexican food. It's so good over there.
Oh, it
you
is
guys are
unbelievable.
spoiled for
because
Mexican
in
food.
Australia we have like
not good Mexican
old
food.
white mum
Oh.
Mexican food.
Yeah.
and
Ah.
it's
Yeah,
not good.
it's you guys would be. I think even the Taco Bell is like Taco Bell. We're not really a fan of in the US, but like I think in Australia it's like even
Oh, it's
worse.
Taco Bell got worse?
There's no way. There's no
Yeah,
way.
no, seriously. I think it was funny because I think Trixie Mattel was here for her tour, the drag queen, and she was like tweeting about she's like Australia, like what is this Taco
Like, what
Bell?
the fuck
we
are you
need to have
doing?
a Taco-" Yeah, and like everyone's commenting like, no, Trixie, like it's so bad. We know it's terrible. Like we know. There's a chain called Guzman, which is like pretty alright, but like Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
get around Guzman.
Yeah, Guzman is good. We always eat that here, but
Yeah.
that's like the best option here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But if we
anyway,
could
back
be
to
a
the
dish-
question. Yeah.
Honestly, to be really fair, what would we be? Because everyone's
know.
super picky. Like
Well,
Eliza's like a vegetarian, so and super picky on top of that. And then Ruby eats food, but is also a little bit picky as well. And then Tex is
He'll eat
he's
anything.
Oscar the Grouch, so
Yeah.
he will eat anything. I don't know. Maybe like just a roast. We would be a
A
Sunday
roast.
roast, I reckon, because there's
Sunday
just
roast.
I was gonna say an
there's a
array of
mix.
burgers.
I would say Sunday roast because it's like everyone.
That's
there's
proper
options
classy.
for everyone, and we are classy motherfuckers. All right,
Mhm.
All right.
we're not really.
That was a very long
You are.
way to answer that question.
To say a Sunday roast,
It was great.
like an English roast, you know.
All right.
Perfect. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
That's so fun.
Cool. All right. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Death row meal,
Mhm.
fuck.
And a drink.
big bowl of pasta. That's just gonna put me in the biggest food coma. Like just so much pasta, and the drink would be a giant ass milkshake because you can't.
Yeah,
have
you can't have diarrhea when you
dance.
dance. So I
you
actually,
can.
yeah, maybe you can have that. I would probably go like something that would take forever. Maybe like just a massive platter of like seafood, like
Mm.
fresh seafood, because I feel like it would take a while to eat and it would
Yeah.
prolong my death.
Yeah, you gotta
So-
crack all the shells and
That and
rinse
probably
and the whole
milkshake as
thing.
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
too
because
much.
like mixing seafood and milk is,
Oof.
we're dying, so
That's
it
awful.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would love to live in my Animal Crossing island.
Yep.
True.
I think that would be a nice place. Or Hogwarts. I feel like that would
Yeah.
be cool as well. I went to Universal Studios and like that was pretty fucking sick. So I feel like that's, the Hogwarts land there. It's
Mhm.
Yeah,
nice to taste.
I'm living in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
For fucking sure.
What house are you guys?
We actually did
We
this
did
test
this.
recently.
And we did the
Okay.
legit one,
Yeah.
and I was.
You were Gryffindor, and I think I was actually Slytherin.
And I genuinely believe that we all answered the questions not truthfully, and like
That's how it always goes.
really,
You have to go
I
for
feel
the
like
coolest
everyone's
one.
like, give me Gryffindor, give me
Yeah,
Gryffindor.
I wanted to know the truth, and then Kurt and Tex got Gryffindor.
But I feel like we were kind of because you
And-
can kind of like answer the
No,
questions.
but the thing is,
You
though,
can tell
Tex
which one's
hasn't-
for which.
Yeah,
Well, Tex hasn't watched Harry Potter, so
That's
Tex
true.
didn't know.
so maybe
yeah.
he is.
So
a
True
psychopath.
it was so funny though because he got Gryffindor, and Kurt was like, "Oh, sick! Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Tex."
Yeah.
It was odd.
And he's like, who the fuck are those people?
Yeah. So peace and love, but Tex has not watched Harry Potter. Please don't bully him online, but
Damn it.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
yeah.
Perfect. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is
Ooh.
your favorite color?
Color.
Color. Mhm.
Well, my favorite color is actually lilac. And if you ever see me at an airport, my suitcase is lilac, my backpack is lilac, and my jumper that I always wear is lilac. And it's kind of embarrassing.
we had to have a
but-
way that we couldn't
yeah.
lose Eliza in some spots. We had to douse her in lilac.
Yeah.
And like, you can't miss her.
Yeah.
It's true. It's actually, I had to reflect on a lot of them were presents. So it was like,
True.
when someone's like, oh, what's their favorite color? Cool. I know exactly what color to buy them forever,
Yeah.
which is okay. But
Oh,
yours is blue,
Yeah,
right?
mine's blue. I
Yeah.
like blue.
See, that's how well I know him.
See, look at you
Oh, yeah.
guys. It's perfect.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions you have to say. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Honestly, just myself.
My name's
That's
Kurt
true.
Skuse.
Go right ahead. Tell us where to follow you, Kurt.
Exactly. Come on, Kurt.
Actually, I would love to say you can do this from anywhere in the world, but if you haven't heard of the Hottest 100 in Australia, you can vote for our songs. It would mean a lot to us if you could. There's a link in our bio on Instagram. Very exciting for all. And yeah, also at Kurt Skuse
Yeah,
on Instagram
just,
if you
yeah.
want to follow him. He doesn't post very much, but
I don't think I'll post it in like 6 months, but that's okay.
That's all
It's
right.
it's
coming
worth
back.
the follow,
Yeah.
guys.
It's worth the
Worth
follow.
He's going to be
follow.
back on
Yeah.
the social media grind soon.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for sound. This guy's been Kurt and Eliza from Eliza and the Delusionals, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.